What's going on, New York Yankees fans? Long time since I did a Yankees video. Well, not really that much for a long time, but a few weeks. I would say like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops for your jobs. Appreciate y'all coming back. So this is going to be a 28-man roster prediction video. It shouldn't take too long. Some of you may have seen the other ones. I revised this one just a little bit. This is going to be my final clear-cut roster prediction. In terms of channel updates, I'm going to try to get more Giants content out. I know this is draft month, and this is the month everyone goes crazy with the mock drafts. I think I'm going to do the same thing, do some more scouting and all that good stuff. Dead Red with Sox Arizona, Yankee Red Sox MLB podcasts on Thursdays. We're trying to get a time hammered out. It's a little difficult because he lives on the West Coast, I live on the East Coast, and we have some schedules that are different. But that's okay. Obviously, the content's always there. In terms of that podcast, we really have a fun time. And the last 3 episodes, which have been the first 3 episodes, we've had a fun time doing it. Boys and Big Apples move back to Monday. So with that being said, we're going to have a big week this week. Really previewing opening day, some of the other games, rosters, all that stuff. Gary Sheffield Jr., my colleague from NYY News TV, will be on. A Rays content creator will come on. Donald Stewart will once again come on. He's kind of like co-host number 3 at this point. And then I might have a special guest from the Giants community because he contacted me, I think it was on Thursday, about wanting to come on the channel and ranting about the Yankees. So I said, listen, it's an open platform. Anyone is welcome. And then we're going to try to do one more Knicks stream before the end of the season. So keep out for the content also on NYY News TV. We're doing a big opening day preview 8 p.m. on Wednesday. That's going to take place at Twin Bill for this week, but Twin Bill is usually going to be 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That may get moved because of the regular season games and stuff like that, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and really competing that with the game is not necessarily the greatest strategy, so me, Pete, and the other guys are trying to work that out. So with that being said, let's get right into it. As I said, I have revised this one just a tad. It's only affecting like 2 positions, so it shouldn't be that much. Anyway, let me shorten myself on the left-hand side of your screen. And let's go out with number 1. So, this may be looping. It is. Okay. With that being said, in terms of the catchers, Kyle Yoshioka, Ben Rordvet, and Rob Brantley. Now, why is Rordvet included if I'm putting him on the IL? 15-day IL, which he was moved back to 15 after 10 the last couple of years. Anyway, it does take up a spot on the 28-man roster or the 40-man roster, however they calculate it. So just in case, I put him there on the IL 15 days. I took one player off my predictions that I had a couple of days ago. I'm not going to reveal that player till we get to that position specifically. And then we have Rob Brantley, who was with the Yankees a little bit last season. When Gary or Higgy was hurt, I forget which catcher. But, with that being said, those are the catchers. In terms of the infielders, DJ LeMahieu, that's a given. I'm really upset that they're actually considering splitting time between him and Glaber. At second, I really think you could trade Glaber at this moment because the stocks are high, and I get it, it's spring training, but the stocks are high. He's been doing really well in spring training other than maybe a few plays, and I think the Yankees are kind of ruining that a little bit because they're playing him at shortstop. Other teams would probably like to see him at second base, maybe try him out at third. I don't know, but Gleyber Torres is also in there. Anthony Rizzo, he's going to be the starting first baseman. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa will be the starting shortstop, as many deem him to be not the long-term option, short-term option, the stopgap, and then Josh Donaldson. I see him playing some designated hitter this season. Maybe Stanton plays right field a little bit, plays left field in some games. You're going to have Donaldson playing the DH because he's 36. He's not going to be an everyday third baseman, at least in my opinion. So they might move DJ LeMahieu over to third, or they might move the next guy over to third, Marwin Gonzalez. I think he makes the roster, and a lot of people have predicted this. A lot of people have not predicted this, whatever the case may be. He has stood out to me in spring training. Once again, spring training, so you can't take too much out of it. But there's a lot of guys competing for infield and outfield spots, and Marwin Gonzalez can play both. You would normally take like a Jose Peraza or a Phillip Evans to try to be a backup infielder. Well, you could do both. Marwin Gonzalez can play the outfield. He's super versatile. He has power, and I know I'm being really optimistic more than I am usually because I am a realist. And Marwin Gonzalez is not going to play a shit ton of games this season. He's going to be coming off the bench as a switch hitter. Yeah, he's a switch hitter. Power. But with that being said, he would have been a starter like 5 years ago, 4 years ago. Not now. Not now with the current roster we have. But nonetheless, I will give him his props for possibly winning a spot in spring training. At least in this prediction, yes. Opening day roster for real. I'm going to say yes, but I don't want to jinx it because I honestly don't think that anyone has beaten him at what he's good at and what he has been doing so far in spring training, playing in the infield, playing in the outfield, all that sort of stuff. So catchers and infielders right there. Let's take a look at the next one. That is, of course, actually, that's a mistake right there. Anyway, the outfielders. Now, I only have them carrying 5. Some may think this is, not right. I'll explain in just a minute. Now, I had 6 outfielders. I had 6 outfielders at one point in my predictions. My 6th outfielder, who I just talked about, was Miguel Andujar because he's been okay this spring, and the Yankees have hugged him like they like to hug prospects, and there's no value for him right now. Last year, I believe he got injured. He was on a little bit of a tear before that. The year before that, up and down between the alternate site and the Yankees in 2020. 2019 gets hurt, so a lot of lost stock there. I don't know if teams have asked for him in trades. I feel like that should be on the table. But I'm going to get the feeling that Brian Cashman, or at least I got the feeling now, this is a different story because it's a revised prediction. He's not on here. We already went through some position players. But in the last set of predictions, I felt that Brian Cashman did not want to get rid of and did not want to say, listen, I made a mistake. And I feel like he doesn't want to do a Clint Frazier where they just DFA him, cut him, whatever the case may be, get rid of him for nothing. Meanwhile, he could be something. Now, in terms of the Andujar thing, and I know I'm going overboard with this since he's not on the predictions, they're trying him out in left field. I don't think that's going to work. They've been doing that the past 2, almost 3 years, I think. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. He's not a natural left fielder. He's not great defensively, so he would work as a DH, maybe in Pittsburgh, maybe in a rebuilding area or rebuilding team like Arizona, Colorado. I don't know. But those are just my thoughts on Miguel Andujar. With that being said, going back to the actual outfielders, Joey Gallo, Aaron Hicks, and Aaron Judge, that's your opening day outfield most likely. Tim LeCastro, I really didn't agree to the fact that they re-signed him because the ACL is one thing, and that's not something I most care about, but you could have saved a little bit of money, and I'm not a big money guy in terms of talking about this. I wanted Correa, I wanted Freeman, but with LeCastro, you had Estevan Florial in the minor leagues. Now, I could sit here and say that Estevan Florial should be the starting center fielder because Hicks has lost, a lot of his game. Injuries, hustle. I don't think he's the player he was when he came to the Yankees. With that being said, I feel like Florial should have gotten a shot, but I don't think he's going to get the shot, and I think it's just going to be these 5 outfielders. Obviously, Judge. Stan's going to play some outfield, though I'm not too convinced to play too many games in the outfield because the Yankees play scared with him a little bit, and I honestly dislike that, but it is what it is. With that being said, let's move over to the last part, which is the starting rotation and the bullpen. Now, I understand, obviously, there's some font mess-ups here, but I apologize for that. Starting rotation, Garrett Cole, Luis Severino, Jameson Tyon, Jordan Montgomery, Nestor Cortez. That's going to be the starting rotation. And, it's a little disappointing that the Yankees didn't go out there and get an arm because Sevy's coming back from only pitching 6-10 innings at most last year. Nestor Cortez, he's great. All the memes and stuff I really don't care for, but when it comes to pitching, he only goes 4 or 5 innings. He's a good bullpen guy. He's not a starter, in my opinion. And I think the Yankees' problem over the last couple of years is they bring up these starters from AAA, try to develop them, they always turn into relievers for some reason. And Michael King is one of them. We'll talk about him in just a second. We can actually transition to that now. So in terms of the bullpen, I have Albert Abreu, Michael King, Joely Rodriguez, Lucas Lidke, Wandy Peralta, Chad Green, Clay Holmes, Jonathan Loaizaga, and Aroldis Chapman. I feel like they like Abreu the most out of these kids. Same thing with Michael King. Luis Heal's an option, Clark Schmidt's an option, Steven Ridings, I believe, is injured, but he's also an option as well. I feel like they like Abreu just a little bit more. They traded for him in the Brian McCann trade, and he made his debut in 2020 in that Mickey Mouse season, the 60-game season, but I feel like they like him more. They have a little bit more confidence in him. You know, Clark Schmidt was up and down last year. Same thing with Luis Heel. We all remember where he pitched like 8 scoreless innings in a few outings, and then they sent him down, and he really didn't have the control. So that's going to be interesting to see. I'm not going to say that they're never going to come up this season. They will come up this season. I'm going to place a bet on that. However, I don't think they'll make the opening day roster. I think it's going to be Abreu and Michael King in terms of the kids. Joely Rodriguez, they traded for him along with Joey Gallo in that big trade. He had one bad outing in the spring thus far, and he really did well coming over from Texas last year. He had a 1-3 record with like a 5.42 ERA and turned it around. So that's one of the things that Matt Blake can do. And with that being said, shout-outs to him. Lucas Lidke, Wandy Peralta, they'll keep them because they need lefties. And other than J.P. Sears, who's struggled just a little bit this spring, I don't see them having any young lefties come up. Maybe I'm wrong. There's Trevor Lane. There's a couple other guys in Scranton at the moment. So it will be Lidke, it will be Peralta, 6th, 7th inning guys. Probably not primary guys, because you take a look at those 3 down there, Clay Holmes, Loaizaga, and Chapman. Yes, I get it's lefty-based. However, that's probably the best route the Yankees can go in terms of their bullpen at the end of the games at this point. Now, obviously, with Cole, you can go long innings. Montgomery, 5-6. Same thing with Tyan. Severino, I'm not going to make any predictions. I'm not going to have too many expectations. Nestor Cortez, you're going to need more of the bullpen. So Chad Green maybe in the 6th or Chad Green in the 5th or however they want to do it to try to transition to the bullpen, maybe an Albert Abreu or Michael King. But honestly, going back to what I said earlier, those 3 bottom options are the best in terms of the route the Yankees want to take. If it was up to me, I would trade Chapman. I would trade Chad Green because I feel like you could easily replace Green with one of the minor league arms and then slide Loaizaga in that closer role, but it's not up to me at this point, and it just looks like they're not going to move on in Chapman's final year of his contract. So that's how I have it in terms of the bullpen. That is how I have it overall. Appreciate you guys. Shorter video than usual. Check out some of the other videos. I'm definitely going to try to post as much Yankee content on here, even though I'm doing Twin Bill, and I've been doing a lot of the live streaming, so check that out. Obviously, once again, Boys in the Big Apple with Gary Sheffield Jr. coming up on Monday. Also a Rays content creator, so we're trying to get to know the AL East a little bit more. Scott Belford of the Walk-Off Podcast was on Wednesday's episode. Obviously, the transition to Mondays, but he was a great guest. He shit-talked the Yankees, but gave us some compliments at the same time. So shout-outs to Walk-Off Podcast. Shout-outs to Scott. Appreciate you guys. Keep checking out the stuff. Keep supporting. I'm going to try to push as many videos through as possible. And we'll see you in the next video. Peace out. See you later. And stay cool.